Hello, welcome to another episode with Little Cabin Knits. My name is Margit, and I'm happy to see you again if you are one who comes already back to this podcast. And if you're a new subscriber or new watcher, then you are welcome as well, and I hope you enjoy this episode. I have 4 things to talk about today. I have made progress with my cardigan. That will be the first one. Then I have a little stash dive with you. I talk about some yarn I purchased some time ago already, but I didn't knit it yet. And what I thought might fit as a project. Then I have one sock pattern ready to publish. So let's start with the cardigan. This is my own design cardigan, and when you saw the last episodes, I told you that I was having 2 sleeves done, but not the cuff, and now I have done the sleeves. And I sewed on the buttons and I knitted it like down to the brim, but I didn't finish the brim. So I will just show you first, and I have to look that I don't stumble upon the thread, which is here still at the bottom. So yeah, it has quite generous arms, so I wanted to have it very versatile to put over a blouse or a dress. So I had knitted this quite generous here, but still with the satin sleeves it's quite a good fit, like it's not like really that oversized. So I think it's a good compromise between a fitted garment still, but it has enough room, and you can move in quite good. So, and for the sleeves, I made this little detail. I made the sleeve splitted. So maybe that way is better, I think. So I splitted up the sleeve in 2, and then I knitted around an I-cord, which goes also in the split, and then I made a little crochet closure here and a button. So sorry, I still have everything not fixed here with the thread and so. And so the idea is that you can keep it closed all the time, and you can still get out, like it's wide enough to get it over the hand easily. But I find it so interesting to have this, just some different detail, which makes this cardigan a bit more like feminine. I feel like a little bit more related kind of to a blouse closure, something like this. And I also like to have this I-cord on because it gives it a bit of a strength here as the end, because I experienced with my cardigans that they get quite easy worn out at that part, especially here. So I have to repair them a lot. So I hope that the I-cord will help to prevent this, that it will be quite more sturdy. And I love this I love just this detail, so you can, you know, have it a little more interesting, because I kept the whole cardigan I kept just in stockinette, and the yarn is so busy, as it is also plant dyed, natural dyed. It's quite busy, and every structure I put in was not so much visible. So this is working out really well for me. I have to take it off actually, because I'm getting very warm now. And you can also say, if you need to have this, like, you know, you need a bit more air, you just fold it over, and it's easy because it stays there, and you can also do it maybe twice. So I feel that makes it really versatile, and I plan to do this also for the other side, for the hemline, the down hemline. So I want to make a split in the back and have it closed with a little button, and that it will match the sleeves. So, and the buttons, I also sewed on the buttons, and they are marbled. I have to fix that threads. It's I still have it all just very kind of improvised, and didn't take time to fix that. But you see the button band has a bit of a structure in, and I really like the buttons, as I mean, I think they are plastic. I would prefer to have some, yeah, natural material there, and I thought about to make some wooden buttons myself, but it's also a bit difficult, and I need to try out how it is when I wash it, because then the buttons get wet and maybe they crack, or if I have to oil them, maybe that prevents it. So I don't know, but I will figure this out, and I can still exchange the buttons later if I want. I also thought about to make buttons from the horns of the reindeers, because we found on our hikes we made in the mountains, we found reindeer bones, and also this horn, the full thing, and we have one is like a half, and I made some buttons out of that already, and they are so nice. So it's really nice to have this used, kind of, because it was laying there around anyway. Yeah, so the yarn, again, cannot stress it out enough that I really like this yarn. It's called Tinder, and it's from Hildesborg. It's a little producer, like a family business actually, here in Norway. It's not so far from where I live, maybe a 2-3 hour drive, which is, if you consider the length of this country, it's quite not so far. And I bought it there directly at the production site and in their shop, and then later I dyed this with rhubarb wood, with my friend Vibeke, and we had like a whole week of just 5 days it was, I think, just dyeing yarn and also fabric. And if you see it on my desk, like here in the back, this little stack there, that is linen fabric, which we dyed kind of in the exhausted exhaust dye bath. boss. Sorry. And Vibeke was so kind to give me there some of these from share some of her fabrics she had, and we dyed it, and then we have kind of a set of that dyed fabrics. So my plan was to make one day I want to make, so I have to change the position. One day I want to make project bags out of them, and I want to hand stitch it together, because I had a sewing machine in the past, but I gave it to a friend. She needed a new one, and it was I used it a bit, but it was before I moved to Norway, so I thought that was actually a bit too much to carry with me. And since then, when I need to sew anything, I just go with hand sewing. And I think it's also nice to do this. So I've seen a couple of videos and tutorials how to do it in a good way that it lasts and it looks nice. So I want to try this out, but let's see when I find time for this. Yes, let me take a sip. And I also, one more thing I I have lately used quite a lot is this little skein. It's Vibeke gifted it to me when I was there with her in a house and we dyed yarn, and I can't remember what wool it is, or was it dyed from her, or what it was. I forgot about it, but I use this now as like a hand. I pet it all the time. I have it like grab it there and just have it in my hand, and then I look at the color and I really like this color. I mean, look at this. It has like hues of pale pink and little whiter parts. It's just so gorgeous. I really like it, and I like to touch it and have it in my hand. It's really cool. It's really nice to have it. And I think that is also something you don't need to knit always with the wool, right? You can just have it there, lay it there, watching it and touch it, and that's also fine for a while. So yes, then I want to talk about yarn. I purchased some yarn last year, and I think it was the last production they made. It's the unspun yarn, the also called pre-yarn from Höner och Air, a Swedish little company, like really a family business. And they recently have had a new employee, but they do practically all just with two main persons and two other persons, one employee and one more family member to manage the whole production. So, and that's the Nutiden yarn, and I have 4 colors. In each color, I have one plate. I will show you all together first. Let me see how I get this sorted. So here is it, and I can start with the red one. This is called the Heartbeat colorway, and it's like a very it's a very intense red. I think my screen or the camera, screen or camera shows it now a bit pale actually, but it is quite an intense red, and I find it quite an strong color to look at and have it around me. So, but I surprised myself because I saw it online when they made the photos and said, no, this is going to be in the next batch, the next, how they call it, set of yarn they sell. Yeah, whatever. And I thought, oh, this is such a nice color. I mean, that was somehow speaking to me. And so I thought, okay, I will give it a try. And I put myself out of my comfort zone of buying usually only cold colors, because for me this is quite a warm color. And I don't know what you think, but I could think that could work, especially when I combine it with the other ones. So I have the heartbeat, and then I ordered also. This was actually, I ordered one a bit earlier, but it fits so well with the other colors. This is the salt, that's the kind of natural white. And I feel these two together, they work really good. And then I have the enlightenment color. And this is also quite variegated in the tones. And you see it is like a beige mainly, and it has a bit darker, almost orangey spots, and also some gray ones, so it's hard to describe. And it's definitely, for me, it's definitely on the warm side. It's quite neutral color, but I think it's more on the warm side. And then I have the last one, the fourth color is Oath, I think called, and that's a solid brown. I mean, that's quite a solid brown, and that is also, I would call it a chocolate brown. And so all these colors are quite out of my usual range. And as I told you in the last episode, I dyed also some wool, and I got the chocolate brown, and I was a bit disappointed about it because it's not what I really wanted. But for this one, I decided to buy it. And yeah, now I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with it. So if you see again, that is the collection, so to say. Yeah. And I think they were all in one collection, but not the salt, because the salt was sold out then already. Can't remember so good anymore. Or I bought it the same way. I think I bought it all together. Whatever. I think that is a really good match for a shawl. For a colorwork shawl, or like a shawl with different colors. Doesn't mean it has to be stranded colorwork, but colorwork. And I looked now, and I got actually inspired today because I looked the podcast from Claudia, my friend Claudia. Her podcast is Knits for the Soul, and she showed her Verticus United shawl from Stephen West. And she used beautiful colors because she used mainly these natural colors like brown and natural white tones and gray. And then she had one popping color in. Maybe I can put in a picture here so you know what I'm talking about. She had one popping color in, and that was a lilac, I think, a violet color. And I thought looks so good. And I saw a lot of these shorts as finished objects in different podcasts, and I thought I like best the ones who are in one kind of color shade type. And if there's like a one color more dominant, like a pop out color, I like that a lot. So this is an option for me to knit with these ones. But I also have 3 other patterns, and they are all from Andrea Mowry, which I really consider for this yarn to use. And that this one is the range, which has these slipped stitches in, and like that the colors are actually build a structure. I will put in a picture as well. And then and she also used this earthy tones, so that speaks a lot to me, I feel. Then she has another one that's just called a satellite, and that was knitted, I think, with mustard yellow and a light rosé, like light pink shade, and some gray yarn. And I like that a lot. Even when mustard is not, it's like I don't have anything in mustard knitted, but somehow I always like it on other people. And I thought I don't have to use that colors, but if I make it in that ones, and it has brioche in, and it's also something I just recently tried myself on a little swatch, just to learn the technique a bit and try it out. And I really like the structure of it, like the deepness when you knitted it in that. And usually I don't like when the colors are too much different, so when the contrast kind of is too high. So but if you have, like, let's say, I can imagine that this in the brioche looks really nice, and I know that some people would say no, that is like too low contrast, but for me it is like when it floats into each other, I really like it. But the good thing is I can try out, and also good thing that would work, it's a bit more contrast, and I think that would be the highest contrast, and that could even also work. So there's a lot of options to do, and I don't have to decide it. I just can make some swatches and see what I like best. And the other one, the third one from the patterns I consider from Andrea, is the everyday shawl. And the everyday shawl, I had that in my possible to knit list since years, I think. Because this pattern has these like stripes in, and they overlap each other. And I also like the construction. I think it's if I remember right now, it's a very big rectangular shawl, and it has buttons on the side, and buttonholes, and then you can just button it up in different ways. So you create like almost like a poncho, or you connect this in a way that it stays around your neck. So I feel that this may be the most versatile thing, that I have not only a shawl, but I have also like a poncho. But I don't know if I have actually enough yarn to do it with the Nutiden now. So I have to see. have to make a little research and see how much each project needs. So yes, that was the yarn. Need to take a sip. And if you have maybe suggestions what else I can knit or what you find interesting for these yarns here, for this like as a color work shawl, or maybe even you have a garment, I would be interested to know. There's only one more topic left, and that is my new design, which is actually not that new because I finished the pattern and also the test knit already last year, but I thought it's too early to release it in winter. I wanted to wait for spring, and now the weather changed a lot already. I think for my German friends, they have already 15 to 20 degrees Celsius outside, which is like super warm. And we are now here in Norway. I have no snow anymore. It melted all down. Only on the mountaintops you have snow, but on the area around us it's kind of gone all, and we have plus degrees, so over the freezing point of water. And I think now it's time to introduce you to the socks that are my foxglove socks, I call them. Look. Oh, getting out of the camera area. So that are lace socks. They knitted with some regular sock yarn, but the sock yarn is actually dyed by my friend Claudia from the Knits for the Soul podcast, and she asked me if I would like to have something dyed, and I told her, yeah, maybe you can dye something in a like a strong color and quite solid, so maybe a bit hazard. And so she did, and it's beautiful. I don't have a sock. Is it called a sock thing you put in the sock, to spread it out? I don't have this. And yeah, I have made them with the German short row heel, I think it's called. I actually never called it that way, but I hear that and I read it that most knitters call it that. For me, this is a boomerang heel. But whatever, it's made with short rows, and it is not that flap heel. It looks like this. And I used also for the short rows, I used a technique that's called shadow webs, and that is the only way so far I knit my socks. I always wanted to try the flap heel, and I really want to do this soon. I always said it now thousands of times to my friends, I think, but I never started. And I'm just good with that one so far, and it has a good fit for me, and I hope also for you. But actually you can easily change that here, because the pattern is just a band, like a stripe on the front, and you can actually knit it with any kind of heel I can think of. Like this is easy to exchange if you know your heel and you want to knit it. Yeah, and the sock is knitted from bottom up, like toe up, and it's finished with this little picot edge. So, and it has also a bit of a seed stitch here, and then a picot edge. And the name is Foxglove Socks, and it is because it's inspired by the plant foxglove, which is here around the house and over the fields. It's like everywhere in the summer. It's like they are getting super tall. They get like 1 meter or maybe even more tall, so like up to my hip or higher. And they have this beautiful bell shaped um, flowers, yeah, blossoms, what is called, the flowers. And I think that is why I wanted to use it in the sock for this bell shape. Maybe I can speed it out a bit more with my hand. Yeah, that is quite good, I think. So I will release that soon, I think, because I feel now spring is coming, and I'm looking forward to have flowers popping up from the meadow and here from our backyard. And I think that is really also like some color you want to put on your feed, and at least I want to do it. So yeah, that's the new design. So really happy about that. That's actually all for this episode, and yeah, so I hope you liked it. And today the lighting is much better. I have natural light, and I'm looking forward to get soon more out and to knit outside, to sit outside, and yeah, spring is coming hopefully soon. So thank you for watching, and see you next time around. Goodbye.